Aye.
Alderman Aiken.
Aye.
Alderman Metcalf.
Aye.
Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
Alderman Campbell.
Aye.
We have 6 aye votes. Motion carries.
Okay, now we're going to draw attention to first reading of formal public hearing. This is bill number 3727.
Your Honor, I move that we place bill number 3727 on its first reading by title only.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is that we place bill number 3727 on its first reading by title only. That motion was made by Alderman Galloway. It was seconded by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion to discuss bill 3727, do so by show of hands. And that does carry.
Bill number 3727, an ordinance of the City of Ozark, Missouri, adopting the Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan.
Okay, now the public hearing for bill number 3727 is now open. At this time, do you want to introduce our speaker, please?
Yes, just a recap. This is a follow-up to the presentation late last year in regards to our ADA transition plan. We did complete the public input portion. We're happy to present tonight in the packet the City of Ozark's ADA self-evaluation and transition plan. Along with the plan, toward the end, there is an implementation schedule. We have drafted a proposed schedule of over a 30-year period to try to implement and address the barriers that we are finding. At this time, I will turn over to Nicholas DeJong with Cullen Associates. He will be able to do a recap and answer any questions.
Thank you, Cameron. Evening, everybody. So I will go over a quick overview of our phase 1 and 2 of our self-evaluation and transition plan. Again, this is a recap from an addition to what we had from our previous meeting as well. So just to give an executive summary of understanding of the background, this is similar to our summary of findings. Executive plan overview of the City of Ozark is plans to work with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Came into effect in 1991. The process of going through a transition plan, including a schedule implementation, as Cameron had mentioned as well. All of its implementation that we'll go over is programs such as a sidewalk evaluation, its curb ramp signals, and other facilities. In addition, we'll be introducing the fact that we have a ADA coordinator that is also part of an ADA transition plan as well. A brief background of the Americans with Disabilities Act and the federal accessibility requirements. We'll be going over the ADA self-evaluation transition plan requirements at each individual step. And then a discrimination and accessibility policy as well. And any undue burden as well that will go along with this transition plan. Scope of the evaluation, as we discussed in the self-evaluation part 1 and 2, the self-evaluation and scope of the self-evaluation, was over our facilities that included the Quag Center, City Hall, Community Center, Apple Creek Park, Finley River Park, Garrison Park, Riverside Inn Park, Ozark Planning and Development Building, Ozark Police Department, and the Ozark Public Works, including the sidewalk, curb ramps, and pedestrian push buttons throughout the city. So here's a map of our updated areas from our phase 1 and phase 2 findings, along with all the facilities that we had evaluated as well. And through that, we had our public outreach section that was also during our, during our self-evaluation process. We had this online surveys for the public to have any input or new knowledge for them that would be able to evaluate and assess those findings as well. The self-evaluation approach that we have, including all of our up-to-date policies, including the 1991 ADA standards, the 2010 ADA standards accessibility design, section 504 Rehabilitation Act, public right-of-way accessibility guidelines, or PROAG, that is now in its final rule, and the Missouri Department of Transportation standards. Our approach included using our ULIP system that evaluated our sidewalks to help find any information on any deviations, broken sidewalk panels, utilities that might be causing any sort of deviation around the pedestrian right-of-way. Along with that, any data analysis that we have will be integrated into our GIS system and mapping that will be given to the city. This will help you evaluate and estimate any future projects. This includes all data points that are our pedestrian signals, our sidewalk, curb ramps, medians that will come with a photo and a cost estimate along with that, along with all of this criteria, so that you would have an ability to estimate those future projects. We have a demonstration of how our process will go. We have an evaluation that was then put into our database. That database is then evaluated through our activity scoring and severity scoring as well, and then given into our map for GIS for you to continue this program. Again, this is reiteration of activity ranking and severity scoring that we went over during our self-evaluation process in our previous meeting. This is location of your city buildings, your schools, pedestrian traffic, or any other future complaints or future developments that you have. During our summary of findings, we're talking about our policy programs, making sure that everything's up to compliance for our hiring practices, any of our procedures that will go through any future standards of building or standards for parking lots, sidewalks, design standards, staffing and training as well. This is going on to continue to talk about the physical assets, some examples that we've come across through the city, physical counter heights, signage that may be missing or in a wrong spot, missing handrails, areas that have obstructions for clear width issues. We have lack of clear space for automatic doors or having missing accessible parking. Again, with our public right-of-way, we have our grand totals for all of our deviations or obstructions that we may have found through vegetation overhead or side that may cause clear width issues, any signs or heaving that we may have found, grand totals through that. We've broken those down into common issues of 53 different locations through our vegetation, and also go on further for vertical displacements as well for a grand total throughout the city. We talked about poor surface condition. This is just due to time of having a sidewalk be out there for 50 years. This is just common practice that you go back and repave those areas. We give a grand total mileage for sidewalk width across slopes that may be out of compliance, giving a grand total 54 miles of evaluated sidewalk. This is also there for sidewalk run slope. Connectivity issue, we have a broken down square yardage of connective gaps missing in the sidewalk, narrow sidewalk that was out there, and buried sidewalk as well, including driveways that we've broken down into individual projects as well. Our curb ramp evaluation is similar to the same process of our sidewalk evaluation, talking about run slope, cross slope, any vertical deviations, missing detectable warning signals or detectable warning surfaces as well, or any missing curb ramps that would be throughout the city. And this is included also with our pedestrian push buttons, similar criteria as well, but this is including the height of the button, textile, make sure the clear space and slope is there for anyone that would be utilizing that push button. So further on, the transition plan is now the continued development of that self-evaluation. This would require to identify a ADA coordinator, which is now BACA. That is her information here for anyone in the city to contact her for any grievance procedures that will go on. We talk about the transition plan funding, and these are all opportunities and broken down into curb ramp signals, sidewalks, different facilities, and other projects that you may be able to utilize these fundings. We have a prioritization recommendation barrier removal. This is the implementation plan that Cameron had mentioned. So we have broken down, if we can look through here, we have every year broken down for the next 30 years along with a corridor report that is combined with that as well. Each corridor report is sum total of the sidewalk, curb ramps, pedestrian signals, and push buttons that would be there on that corridor, total price of an estimate price for that corridor, and then a recommended list of projects per year to continue this through the next 30 years. Again, this project is not going to be changed overnight. This is a continued evaluation and continued scope to try to implement new accessible rights and accessible pathways for pedestrians in the city. So again, this is for 30 years. This is broken down. This list is not testament. This is something for you guys to have as an ability to know where your focuses should be. But as you go on through your CIP projects, as you go on through just common grievance procedures, this list can be knocked down as you go along. But this is a recommended list for you to follow. 30 years might take the time. Here we go. So then the current ADA policy and grievance procedure, as I mentioned, is the process of which when you receive a grievance that you have 15 days to respond, to document, and then to reach out to understand what that grievance is mentioning. If it's broken panels, it's an inability to access the road from a curb ramp, so on and so forth. And then after the filing, what you will do, and again, this is a continued living document. So this is an opportunity for the city to have that new map with all this information for you to then update along as you go. It's recommended between every year to 3 years for you to continue updating and also input new pedestrian sidewalk or signals or curb ramps that you may have along the way for new projects. And I'm here as well to end for the conclusion that if you have any questions over this is the first reading for you to take time to have a better in-depth understanding of the transition plan itself. Are there any questions over the first part of the transition plan?
It does not look like it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you being here. Okay. 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 I'm not seeing questions from the board. At this time, is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak for this bill, which is Bill 3727? This is your time, if you're here to speak for this bill. Okay. I am not seeing movement. Is there anyone here who would speak against Bill number 3727? This is your time. Okay. Public hearing for Bill number 3727 is now closed, and Bill number 3727 will be held over for a future meeting. We have no new bills tonight, and there's no resolutions. This time, we'll address our city administrator for any updates.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to begin by welcoming everybody to 2026. I hope everyone had a very happy and prosperous new year. Welcome back, Mr. Galloway. Trust your travels were A-okay. Absolutely. Our next meeting will be on Tuesday. We are observing a federal holiday on January 19th, so we'll be meeting on Tuesday, January 20th. A couple of items I want to bring to your attention that the board will be considering. The position to apply for alderman has closed. That closed on December 30th. There are 2 individuals that will be running for office. In Ward 1, we have Jerry Montgomery is running unopposed. Ward 2, our own Bruce Galloway is running unopposed. And in Ward 3, no one signed up for that ward. I believe Chandra sent that information out to the board last week, and so you should have received that. But the bill to consider calling for the April election will be on the next meeting, and we will ask for that to be expedited. On the same meeting, you will also be giving consideration to the Charter Commission that will hopefully be appointed through election in April as well. We hoped to get 13 members of the charter. We received 11 certified members from the county clerk. So that information was certified, and that was sent to you, I believe, last week. And so you have that information as well. And so congratulations on those individuals, and we hope to have that before you at the next meeting as well, and you can vote on that. We will also have a work session on January 15th. That's a Thursday from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. And Your Honor, that's all I have to report.
Any questions for our city administrator? Okay. Any final comments from the board tonight? Okay. I am not seeing one. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. The motion for adjournment was made by Alderman Aiken, second by Alderman Snyder. All in favor of voting on the motion for adjournment, do so by show of hands. It does carry, and we stand adjourned.